I found this fat quarter bundle at Walmart for less than $7, and these colors immediately made me think of my mother. So I thought, why not turn this one little bundle into a collection of handmade gifts just for her? Today I'm making a wallet and keychain, a quilted glasses pouch, a Grace pocket bookmark, and a corner bookmark, all from this one coordinating bundle. Let's see how many handmade gifts we can create from these 5 fat quarters. So first, let's open up the bundle and plan our cuts. Okay, so here I think is what I'm going to make. I need a keychain, 4 inches by 14, a wallet, 6 by 5 inches. I need 2 for the outside and 2 for the lining. A glasses pouch. I'll need 2 different fabrics and each need to be 7 by 8 inches. Corner bookmarks. I need 3 pieces of 4-inch squares. And then a pocket bookmark. I need 2, that's 4 1/4 by 8, and 2, that's 4 1/4 square. So I think I'm going to start out with the corner bookmark, not the corner, the pocket bookmarks, because I really like this. I kind of want this to be my focal fabric in here. So let's just undo this. Okay, I want to start off by numbering off my fabric so I'm not confused. So my focal fabric will be number 1. This will be number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. I think we'll do that so that all coordinates, so it really won't matter what we do for each. But I want to start out with the pocket bookmark with this as the background, and this will be the pocket. So I think that'll be really cute. So let's mark that as 1, 1, 1, and 2. Now the keychain will go with the wallet. So let's do the wallet in number 1, and the lining, let's do number 4 as the lining. And then let's do number 4 as the keychain. That'll coordinate nicely. Now the glasses pouch, let's do number 5 and number 3. And then the corner bookmarks, I will probably just do with what I have left. I'd like to do a combination and do several. So we've got our plan, and let's get started in getting things cut out. So before I start cutting things out, I do like to just give it a quick iron. That way all of the wrinkles and folds are out of the way. It's all nice and smooth. So the first thing I'm going to make is the pocket bookmark. I need 2 4 1/4 by 8 inch rectangles of number 1 fabric, and then 2 4 1/4" squares from number 2 fabric. So I have my 2 pieces of the back part of the pocket. I have my pocket. I have 2 pieces for the pocket. And now I have my fusible fleece that I'm going to iron on to one side. I just need to decide which is going to be the top or the front, which I think here, because that coordinates, and then this will be the back. And then this will be sandwiched in between. So let's move to the next step. All right, so I'm going to flip this over, and then with the bumpy side, that's the glue, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the wrong side, and then I'm going to flip it back over. Just lining everything up. I'm going to take my iron and iron all of that down. That way it melts the glue where I want it to be. Now at this point we can go ahead and quilt it if we want to. It's not required, but I think I will since it's something special for my mom. I'm just going to do a simple quilting, just some straight lines down through here. Let's work on the pocket. We're just going to take the 2 pieces, and I've got one with the pretty side up, one with the pretty side down, and I'll just clip those together. Now we will leave an opening, so let's just leave about that much. So I'll stitch here and around and leave that pocket so I can turn it inside out. Okay, so now I'm going to cut all the corners, just not quite to the stitching. Reduce the bulk. And then just simply turn it inside out. And feel free to use a point turner just to make those corners look that much nicer. Okay, now we're ready to iron. Let's get rid of our pieces. Okay, let's iron that in. That looks really good. Okay. Okay, so the opposite side of our opening is where we're going to top stitch from here to here. All right, so we have the quilted piece done. You can see I just did like a 3/8 inch straight stitch. I'm going to lay that down, and then I'm going to lay this one down on top of it. But before I do, I want to mark my center points. And you can do it with a marker, or we'll do it that way. That way you can see it. So I'm just going to mark that right here. And then again on the other side. Okay. And we can go ahead and mark that there too. And down here. We want to be able to insert our elastic. So we're going to go ahead and we'll just pin that up here. And I'm going to pin it. I'm going to go ahead and pin it this way, not this way. Okay, just like that. Now down here, we can go ahead and pin that in place. Same way, we're going to have the little ends on the outside. We're going to also mark some spots over here. About right here and here. We want some room to pull all of this inside out. And now let's lay right side down. And just line it up. And we can go ahead and clip that in a couple of spots. There we go. And we're going to stitch from right here. We're going to go this way and then down this way, and then turn at the corner, double back stitch a few times right here, and then we're going to come back down and we're going to end right there. We're going to leave this open for now and just leave the tail sticking out. Okay, let's take the pin out. We're going to clip the corners just like we did with the pocket. It just reduces that bulk, makes for a nicer corner. But don't skip this step. It is important. Okay, now we're going to turn this inside out. Just reach in there, push it out. You can pull that elastic, go into the corners, push them out the best you can. We're going to use our point turner and go up in there and get those points, get those corners just really nice without poking through. Okay, we're going to do the same here. Yeah, that looks nice. And with this one. And then we're going to fold that in. And we're going to iron that down. We're going to iron all of this down. Let's make sure my iron is hot. Just have to wake it up. In the meantime, I'll clean off my board. Just tuck those in nicely. Sometimes it takes a little finagling. There we go. Now let's just take our iron over that. Okay, we're going to lay our pocket over this longer part, just like that, and we'll clip it together. And now we're going to bring this elastic piece and we're going to tuck it in the back, right there in that corner. See, I still have my mark. And I'm just going to tuck that in right there. And I'm going to clip that down as well. So now we're going to top stitch all the way around, and we're without catching any of this elastic. All right, so look how cute that is. I did do 10 inches of elastic and it's all done. Just going to give it one last press. That turned out really cute. If I had labels, I would have stuck them in there, but I don't, and that's okay. Mom knows who's giving it to her. So that'll just fit right over a book, and she can put in a couple of pins. It will fit a Post-it note, and she's all set to go. Okay, so we have this one all done. Next, let's go ahead and do the corner bookmarks. I'm going to make several of these in several different colorways, pattern ways. So I just need 3 4-inch squares for each bookmark. All right, so on this one, this is going to be my corner piece. That's the part that will show on the front of the book. So we'll go ahead and put this in the corner. There we go. And we'll turn this upside down so that way the right sides all meet together. And I will just go ahead and mark where I'm going to sew. Just clip all that together. And on this one, this is my corner piece. I'm going to batch sew these. Oh, that's really pretty. We'll make that the back. Okay, and we're going to lay this out here. And then we'll put that right there. Again, I'm going to go ahead and mark where I'm going to sew to make sure I have that opening. And go ahead and work this one just a little bit better here. Okay, so there's 2. There's my third one. This piece is going to be my corner. Oh, they're all different, but they coordinate. All righty, here we go. And we can do either. I'll just leave it the same. Clip there, clip there, and mark there. Now we're ready to take all 3 to the sewing machine. All 3 are completed. Now we're going to trim those corners again. Just reduces the bulk, makes it for a much nicer corner. And we'll get rid of some of those threads. And one more. All right, I'll clean off my space. All righty, now we're going to turn it inside out after I clip that. Just do it gently, just like we did with the bookmark. And go on the inside and just gently push out. Don't push too hard, we don't want a hole. So just take your time. You can use your point turner. Just kind of gently push that out. If you don't have a point turner, a chopstick or something blunt, not your scissors. That's why I like this. I'll go ahead and link this so you can get it off of Amazon. Okay, that's ready for pressing. Let's do the next one. And here you can just kind of pop that out. Okay. All right, we're ready for pressing. So we're just going to tuck that in because we're going to top stitch over it. And then take your iron and iron that down. Really good. Use a little steam if you've got it. Now we're going to top stitch all the way around, but start down in here somewhere because this is the part that's going to show from your book. So there's one ready for top stitching. This would be nice coordinating fabrics. Oh, I ended up doing that. Oh well, that's okay. Probably should have had a different coordinating right there. But that's okay. It'll be great. Nobody will know that I didn't mean it that way. Okay, so we're going to top stitch starting on one of these sides. Don't start on the pocket side from that corner. Start over here and then come around. So these are all done. Just going to give them one last press. Okay, those are super cute. Well, we've got a lot accomplished. We have finished the Grace Pocket bookmark. We've done the little bookmarks and the corner bookmarks. I guess I'm going bottom up. Let's go ahead and do the glasses pouch. So I need two fabrics. I said I was going to do 5 and 3, and I need 7 inches by 8 inches. So I'm changing my mind because I just love this so much. So I'm going to do these two together and replace with the plaid. All right, now I'm ready to do the 8 inches. Oh, that's going to be really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to cut 8 across here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right there on the 11. And then by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I do the same of number 5. So I will need a 7 by 8 piece of this fusible fleece. So what we can do is just set this on it and cut it from there. Let's find a good straight edge here. Okay, and now we are going to go ahead and iron that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and quilt this. I think I might just go right straight down that part. All right, so I forgot about the bumpy side. I hope this will go ahead. So you want the bumpy side, and we're going to go ahead and iron that down. Okay, we're ready for quilting. So in order to make this line right here, we need to fold this in half. And we can finger press it. Just like that. And then we're going to lay, where is my half? There it is, right there. Okay. Then we're going to lay the right side onto the right side. So we have right side to right side. I just want to make sure this is how I wanted it. Yes. And we're going to take that middle right there, and we're going to come down about 2.5 inches right here. And we're going to cut that. So we're going to go ahead and put this on this center line right there. And we're going to come down 2.5 inches, just like that. And we're just going to cut that off. And we don't need that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and stitch all the way around. And let's mark where we want an opening. Let's see, where did I do the one? I think I did the side. Okay, so we'll just mark here and here. We can go ahead and clip just to hold it all together. We're going to do a 1/4 inch seam all the way around. Here's what we have so far. So now I can cross that off. And next we'll do the keychain and then probably the wallet last. Next on the agenda is we're going to make the keychain. And I need a piece of fabric. So I did switch it up. I thought I would use this one. It tended to go with the collection a little bit better. And I need a 4 by 14 inch piece of the fabric as well as the interfacing. Just use a lightweight interfacing because we're going to be folding this several times and you'll have 4 layers. And the bumpy side is the fusible side. That's the glue that will melt onto the fabric. This is what the keychain will look like. And why I like the interfacing, it makes it a little more sturdy. It's not super stiff, it's still pliable, but it's not just floppy like regular fabric would be. Then you're going to need these pliers. I did find these on Amazon along with the hardware. It has this silicone covering which protects your hardware. And what we will do is stick this inside just like this. And I usually keep this on the outside just so it doesn't get in the way. And then once I have it all lined up the way I want it, then I insert the fabric and push really hard. So go ahead and look in the description and I will put the link to this. This is really the tool you need to have. So let's get started. I am going to need a 4 by 14. So I just folded this so it would make it a little easier cutting. And I'm just going to put this down and line it up on the 4 and just go ahead and cut the rest off. And now I need this to be 14 inches. I just found that the 14 is perfect for my wrist. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're just going to cut this part off. And now we're going to do the same with our fabric. We need 4 inches by 4 inches. All right, so I'm going to lay that down and I'm going to line this up. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have a little nick on mine. I should mark that so I don't use that side. It will ruin my blade. And now I'm just going to turn it over. This is double, and that's a fold right there. And now I need 7, so 7 times 2. I need the fold on this side. Ooh, I almost cut it in 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just double check. Okay, now we're going to cut this off. Save that for later. And now we're ready to open this up. I'm going to iron it flat. And then I'm going to lay this on top, flip it over, and iron it. All right, so now we're going to iron. And you just want to make sure that that bumpy side is facing the wrong side of your fabric. So I always iron fabric side because you can melt your Pellon. This is a fusible, what is this? This is a French fuse, so it has a little bit of give to it. But you can use a lightweight Pellon, that would be fine. Just kind of just press. You don't have to move it around. You can just put your iron down and leave it there for it to melt. We just want it to melt. On this project, your iron is your friend, but it does get hot. Alrighty, so we are going to fold this in half and we're going to iron it again. And this is a little bit hot. We're making a crease down the middle. Give it a little bit of steam. And we'll just do it on both sides. All right, now, ooh, this is hot. Now we want to open this up and we want to fold this into that center line, just like that, and give that a quick press. Give it a little bit of steam. Push hard on your fabric, but don't leave it there too long. You don't want it to burn. Now we will flip it around. And this is hot. We're going to do the same on this side. Just make sure that that edges, just make sure those edges line up in the center. And give it a quick press and some steam. All right, and now we're ready to fold this over. Give it another press. We're just making sure that it's going to be all aligned just perfectly. And I like to clip it. You can clip or pin, but I'm going to go ahead and clip it just to hold it all together. It's still pretty hot. And now we're going to take it to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch down 1/8 of an inch on each side. Now you can stitch as much as you want. I usually just do the 1/8 of an inch on each side. And I wanted to mention I'm guiding it. I'm just lightly holding it. I'm not pushing it through. I'm letting the machine pull it through. And there we have it. At this point, I just kind of look to see which side I like the best. When your stitches are good, this is a good machine that it'll look the same on both sides. So I think I'll just keep it with this side. I'm going to put them together and I'm going to stitch right here just to make it easier and hold the whole thing together. And I like to start in the middle so I'm not worrying about the edges. And again, let's pull out our thread. And I'm just doing this at 1/4 of an inch. And just go back and forth a few times. It's really thick, so it's best to just go slow. Whoops. If my machine will let me. Okay, really all we want is for that to be stitched together. And then if you feel like it's too much, we can just trim that down just a little bit. We don't want our stitches to show from the hardware. So this is what we've got. And we have one more step, and that is to add the hardware. Now we're ready for our pliers. And I like to put the prong side to the back. And I like to just put that ring on the side like that. I'm going to line it up with the top. It's not quite lined up. I want it to be even with the pliers. And then just gently, don't push in on it yet, just kind of hold it. Sometimes it takes a little finagling to get it straight. Your first few might not be exactly straight. Mine weren't. All right, now we're just going to put our fabric in, and we want to make sure, because once we push, those prongs are going to hold. We want to make sure we are perfect and good to go. Okay, here we go. Ready? We're going to push, and we're going to squeeze really hard. And we've got 2 more squeezes. I've got one on this side. You can see that the silicone protects this metal part. And then we're going to do this side. And now our keychain is done and it's not going to come out of there. I'm pulling pretty hard and it's just not going to come out of there because of these little prongs. So next we're going to work on the wallet. Here's what we have done so far. Let's see, where did we start? We started with the pocket bookmark where you can slip it over your favorite book or textbook or Bible, and you've got all of your tools right there. It will fit Post-it notes as well. So we've got that. And then the next thing we did was just a variety of bookmarks. And these just fit right over your book. This is the part you'll see on the outside. There's the back. We're just continuing on with this collection. I really love this collection. I just think it's so pretty. And here's our glasses case. We quilted it. You have fusible fleece inside, and you can either put your glasses all the way in, as it will protect it, or you can just pull out one side and do it like that. But that way, now when you put it in your purse, they won't get scratched. And then what we just made was our keychain. It's a little wristlet keychain. I like this size because it just lets me hold it and I can come down and grab it, especially when it has keys, pulling it down, and I can just do it with one hand. I can't with no keys on it, but you can put your car keys, your mailbox keys, your house key, whatever you need. So that's super cute. So here is our collection so far. And the next thing we're going to make is a wallet. And I just need to decide what fabric. I really like this to be my focal fabric. I'm hoping I'll have enough. I have plenty of all of the rest. So we'll put a super cute lining. I have a plaid lining I think I'm going to put into it, and it will have a zipper. So let's get started with that one. So let's mark off keychain off of our list. And the wallet, I was thinking we'll start out with 6x5. So that'll make a nice size wallet. We'll have a 1/4 of an inch seam allowances in there, 1/4 to 3/8. Depends on how thick it is. I'll need 6x5. I'll need 2 pieces of fabric. I'm hoping I have enough of this one for the outside, and then my lining, I need another 2 pieces. And then I will need some batting. I'll need 2 pieces of the 6x5 of batting. So let's get making the wallet. Here's my color choices. I think I'm going to do number 1. I should have enough with this piece. Yeah, there's 14 that way because it is a directional print. So maybe I can put one side like this and one side like that. I've got plenty of that. That's amazing. I love that. And then I think I'm going to put this plaid for the lining. And I'm going to do a little tab on the outside, and I will probably do the tab with this plaid. Or I could use any other fabric just so it all just coordinates together. So I need 6x5, and the 5 is going to be the height and the 6 is going to be the width. And so let's just come through here. This is a 6-inch ruler. Oop, that's my Nikki side. I need to mark that. I don't want to ruin my blade. Okay, so I'm just going to cut it all the way across. I'm going to fussy cut this a little bit because I want the flower in the first part. That's pretty too. But I think I want, now there'll be a zipper right here, so it will be right up at the top. All right, so let's go ahead and cut. Do I have a nick on both sides? No, I turned it the wrong way. Okay, so we don't need this piece. That's 6 inches wide. Now we want 5 inches, or 6 inches long. We want 5 inches wide. So There's 5 inches, 6 inches. Okay, so we're going to do 6 inches this way. And really, you can do it either way. I'm just kind of working around these flowers. And I'm going to do 5 inches deep. And I'll cut all the pieces like that. All right, there we go there. So I want to fussy cut this one just a little bit. I want 6 inches wide. And 5 inches deep. I really like that butterfly. I want that butterfly to sparkle. So let's go this way. Yeah, that butterfly will be perfectly located on the wallet. Okay, so here is the outside pieces. Get my scraps out of the way. And we're going to use this as the inside. That'll look super cute. So I need 4x5, 6x5, 6x5 pieces. And since it's the lining, it's in the inside, we don't have to fussy cut this too much. Don't really even have to worry about matching the stripes. I would on a blouse, but on a craft project, I usually don't, but we can do the best we can. All right, so let's do 5 inches here. We'll start with the 5. And then we will turn this and we'll do the 6. All right, so now we have all of our pieces cut out. I'm going to need a zipper and some batting, and we're going to go ahead and quilt the outside of it. So I've got my batting. I'll need 2 pieces, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut around it, and then we'll trim it up once we've got both pieces quilted. So I'm just not going to be too particular. And then I have some 505 spray that I'm going to spray this piece down onto here, onto the batting. It just helps while we start the quilting process. So we're going to quilt this and this, and I'll probably just do lines down this way because the zipper will be going right through here. This is the spray that I like to use. It doesn't have a smell and there's no stain, doesn't gum up the needles, acid free. It just works really well. So we'll just spray. Just a little bit. You don't need a lot. I'll just lay that down. And we can iron it and it'll even stay even better. Okay, do this one. I'll just give it a quick iron. You can use something that's a little more lofty. I do tend to like this for the wallets. It's just a nice weight. And it doesn't really interfere that much in your sewing process. Okay, so let's take that to the sewing machine and we will start doing our stitches. So the first stitch, I kind of like to get it going down the edge, and then I use my little quilting guide right here and set that on the stitch and keep going in that direction. So the first one, I'm just going to run it down, not going to use the bar, but the side of my 1/4 inch foot here. Hold your thread and we're going to get started. Alrighty. So I've got that edge started right here. Now we're going to use this as our guide. Does your sewing machine do that? Mine didn't start stitching till down here. That's okay. At least it's going to be in the seam. This one tends to do that, and I'm not sure why. Alrighty, so you kind of know where that line is. Let's hope it stitches right away. Alrighty, here we go. So I'm looking here. I'm not looking here. I'm going to go right down my stitching. I think instead of using the automatic cutter, I might just do that. We'll see if that works better. But it did start at the top. And then we're going to put the bar on these stitches and make sure that we're starting right up there. And we're just going to stitch right down this way. That might have worked better. Just keep trying different things. Every machine is just a little bit different. Alrighty, so again, lining up this right here and the bar on my stitching line. And I'm going to hold my threads. I'm not tugging on them, I'm just holding them. Just kind of doing it the old-fashioned way. Sometimes our automatic thread cutters just are too short. Alrighty, so it looks like we're going to have 2 more rows of stitches here. And I've got a hold of both. I'm just holding, I'm not tugging on them. And one more, then we're ready to do the other one. All right, our quilting is done on this one. You can see our lines. I'll cut all my threads and then I'm going to trim all of this up. So let's work on the next one. All right, we're done with the quilting. See, that did not take that long. So I'm going to trim all this off. And the next thing we're going to do is make the tab on this side, and I'll show you how to do that. At this point, we're going to trim it all up. Just get rid of all this extra batting. We don't need it anymore. I just don't stress over the batting when I'm quilting. I just put a little extra there. And we want to line this up. Sometimes it gets a little off on the batting. That's why we have extra. So you can see I just have just a couple of threads there. Just want to make sure it's all squared up. Let's see, let's go this way. So if you can see, I'm lining this line up here. I want a 90-degree. I want as perfect as I can get. But they both have to match, both pieces. Hey, we're doing good. Hardly cut any excess. Just a couple threads. All right, so there's one piece. And let's do this other one. I'm going to line up that edge that I just cut. And as close to the edge as I can get. Alrighty, so this is where we want everything to be squared up. Yeah, we're doing really, really good here. And it also gets rid of all those extra threads from stopping the machine. Okay, so here's our two pieces. We can lay one on top of the other, see if they match up. Let's cross our fingers and hope they do. And we're good. If you have any extra threads, just throw them away or snip them off. Don't really need them in our way. Okay, there's our pieces. So it's going to be like this. Next, we want to make our little tab. You can put it on either side. I'm left-handed, so I tend to put it on the left side, but it depends on how you hold your wallet. I don't really think it matters. We can put it on the right side. My mom is right-handed. So to make the tab, I think I'm going to use the number 2 fabric. And we want it about 3/4 inches wide. That actually might just be enough. So 3/4 times 4, or we could just do a half. Let's just do a half. 1, 2, 3, 4, because we have enough for that. As you can see, you can adjust as needed. So we need a 2-inch strip here. I'll just cut that excess off. We're going to do the same method as we did for the keychain. We're going to fold it in half and in half again. So let's grab our tab. We don't need any inner lining or interfacing or anything. So let's just go ahead. We'll finger press that down just like that. And then we'll fold this in. You can make this thick if you want. I think because this is kind of dainty, I'm going to keep it thin. I've made some where they're, an inch wide. So however wide you want your tab, take that times 4. And then you've got your width. Okay, so now we are going to, that is so hot. It's just so hot. So we're basically making a mini keychain. Now I'm going to go ahead and stitch down each side just to get it secure. Next, we're going to want these little D-rings. I got these at Michael's. You can use O-rings, D-rings, whatever you want. I got the 3/4 inch. So what I'm going to do now, let's go ahead and find, let's see, okay, this is my back side. So I'm going to insert that. We could have made it a little bit bigger, that would have been fine, but this works too. Now I'm just going to stitch across here to hold that together. The goal here is just so we don't lose our D-ring. Alrighty, we'll just get rid of all of our threads. We can trim it down if we want. It's totally fine. So now it's ready, and it won't be this long. I will probably put it in about here, but I've got plenty of space. Well, we are in the final stages here of our gift pack. I've got our 2 quilted pieces, our 2 lining pieces, our tab, and our zipper. Now you just use a zipper that's wider than this. This is what I had on hand. It's way too wide, but that's okay. You'd rather have it wider than shorter, for sure. So we'll take it out of the package, throw away that zipper, or not the zipper, the staple. And now what we're going to do is just lay it out. We don't have to have this exact. We're not doing that. So we're going to lay it out just like that. And with this down, because once we sew it, it will be this way. So lay it down this way with just plenty of room on both sides. It's totally fine. I'd rather have more than less. Now, some people like to take it to the sewing machine and sew it now. I don't. I'll take my piece. We're going to line it up with the sides. We don't want this off. And we're going to line that up just like a sandwich. It's a zipper sandwich. Just like that. Make sure we don't have any overhang. Just clip it together just like that. We can look at the back side, see, it's okay if we have just a smidge, but there we go. So now we're going to stitch using our zipper foot right down through here. Not on the zipper, but right next to the zipper. And we're going to do that with both sides. So let's go ahead and, nope, this one's next. So scratch that. You can pin this if you want. Sometimes I like to pin the very beginning. That's because sometimes those clips get in the way. So now we're ready to take it to the sewing machine, change the presser foot, and keep going. I did find my zipper foot. They all kind of look different. This one's just a little 3-prong, and I'm going to put it with, I'm going to attach it to my sewing machine with these 2 sections right here. The only thing I don't like with this is I can't use my little walking foot attachment here. So I'm going to probably pin a little bit more, maybe even baste things down so they don't shift. And we're going to give it a go. Now you can see how I have it on here. So this side will go as close to my zipper as possible. And I think, I'm going to show you closer. What I'm doing is I'm lining this. See, I'm giving myself like an extra eighth of an inch right there. Here's my zipper, and here's my little toe. So let's see if that works well. And I'm just going to take it slow. I'm going to slow down my machine just a bit. Here I will back stitch. I want that to be good and secured. Yeah, we always want that to go down. So I'm kind of watching this center prong so that I have like an eighth, a 16th to an eighth of an inch. And I want this to go straight down this little white line here. And pull that down a bit. And I am going super slow because I know my machine and I want it to stitch without taking the top fabric and shifting it. So it's kind of nice that I have this plaid. I can just go down this one line. It all seems to work pretty good. And if it does shift a little bit, it'll be fine. We just don't want it to shift too much, but we can go ahead and trim it later. It seems to be doing pretty good. And then just backspace, backspace. I say that all the time. It's backstitch in sewing. It's backspace in computer. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so here you can see I caught it on both sides. And look, this is what we want. Just like that. Now I'm going to take it and I am going to iron this down. And I'm going to leave this out. Am I? No, I'm not going to leave that out. So I'm going to just take my zipper, pull on both pieces of fabric, pull it down, and I'm going to iron this flat, and then I'm going to top stitch right across that line. Now we're going to line these two pieces up just like that. I'm just going to give it a slight tug because I want to bring my iron over here and then just iron this flat. Not on the zipper. I don't want to melt it. It is polyester. But just that seam that I just sewed. And now I'm going to take it back over the machine. I'll probably switch out my presser foot. And I'm just going to do like an eighth of an inch top stitching all the way down. That just holds that down nice and snug. All right, so I'm going to top stitch an eighth of an inch, and I am going to back stitch. Okay, so we have one side of the zipper on. I'll clip all my threads that I don't need. Yeah, look how nice that looks. You take your time. You usually have a great finished product. All right, so let's go to the next step. Now we need to sew this onto the other side. So we want to make sure that it's going to be the right direction. So we want it to be like that. And then we're going to lay our other piece down. This really, oh yeah, it does matter. I'm glad I noticed that. Sometimes plaids don't matter. This one does. So we want the plaid facing up, and we're just going to lay that down. Let's flip this over. And we want everything to line up. This is kind of where it gets just a little tricky, but just take your time. We're good. We just want it all to line up. You can always trim it just a tad later. I really didn't want to do that. Now we'll lay the pretty side down, because when we flip it over, it'll be just right. Okay, now for now, I'm going to clip it just like I did before, and then I'm going to come back in and pin it. Because again, I don't have, when I use my zipper foot, it disengages the walking foot. Okay, so let's grab a few pins here. Usually like the end one to go this way. And these are my favorite pins. This right here. They're flexible. They're really, really nice. Okay, let's come back over here. I'm going to go up this way. And just for security, I'm just adding it all. So I'm going to go switch my presser foot back. Okay, I should be good. And I'm going to stitch right down that line like I did before. Same thing, we're going to grab both pieces, we're going to line them up and just kind of tug them a little bit from the top. Let's make sure everything is lined up right. Bring our iron in. And you'll notice it's not exact on both sides, but when it's going to be up like this, nobody's going to know. So don't stress over that. You don't need to rip out. It's going to be fine. Guarantee no one will know but you. So don't be that hard on yourself. Okay, so I'm going to take this over and we're going to do 1/8 of an inch just like we did over here. And then let's move on. So we've got our zipper attached. We can go ahead and cut this off this side if we want right now, but I'm going to wait. So we've got our zipper here. So it just depends on if you like to open your zipper with your left hand. My mom is right-handed, so I imagine she will want to do it this way. So we've got to attach our tab right here. And let's go ahead and do it on the same side as the zipper pull will be. So we're going to open this up just like this. And we will attach it. We need to do it on the inside. We don't want it sticking out. And let's just put it right there. We're going to pin that down. I'm going to go ahead and stitch that on so it's not moving anywhere on me. I'm going to go back to the machine. I'm just going to stitch right down here. I think that is plenty of a tab. I could even make that just a little bit smaller. Just whatever you like. It's your project. You get to decide. There's no rules here. Okay, so I'm just going to stitch this down right here and I'll be right back. All right, so you see I've got it stitched down. It's not going to go anywhere. I don't have to worry about that. I do want to worry a little bit about this part. I want to make sure it sticks. You can use some tape to stick it down. You can add just a pin like that and keep it down. I think we'll do that. I just don't want it going into the seam and ruining things. So I'm just going to trim some of this off right now. My scissors will allow me. There we go. Okay, now, now we're going to take our two pieces right here and just clip them together. That's the outside. Alrighty. And we're going to clip these together. We're going to leave an opening down here. Okay, so we have an opening down here. Now, before I clip that, I do want to unzip this. We're just going to unzip it to about there, not past here, because then we won't be able to zip it back up because we'll have stitching right there. So just about right there. Okay, now let's lay this back over. This is probably the trickiest part, but you'll get it. It'll be totally fine. Okay, so now what to do with this zipper? Make a V, just like that. So it'll kind of automatically fall into place. So make a V. See how I'm making a V? I'm just folding it just like that to where it's folded down towards the main part. I'm going to go ahead and clip that. And we're going to do the same thing. Now this one, of course, is already open. So we want to line that all back up. Put a clip on it to hold it together, just like that. So if you look at it, the teeth are on the top right here. It's going straight across. Okay, so now what we want is to make some markings. Let's mark like from here to here. You've seen this before. We're going to start here. So all the way down, double backspace, back stitch, double back stitch here a little bit, but slowly because we're going through nylon teeth. If this was metal, you don't want to sew across that. And then we're going to come down and over, same thing here, and then we're going to end here. So I'm going to go stitch that and then we can move on. Here I think I'm going to do a 3/8 of an inch stitch just because I have a lot of layers. I may have a little shifting, and I just want to be sure I'm catching all of it. So I am going to bump that up to 3/8, which is on the side of my foot here. And go ahead and back stitch. I'll get that one day. Okay, we're just taking it slow. We've got some bulk here. We'll be fine. Okay, so I'm just going to hold this firm. Then I'm going to back stitch. Okay, now we're ready to go on down the line. We've got another bulky part here. I'm going to back stitch. Alrighty, so you'll see it did shift a little bit. I could have basted it. I could have put pins in there. I didn't, but it'll be totally fine. No one will know except you and me. All right, so let me show you the next step. So here we go. Zoom in just a little bit. So what do you think we have left? We have our corners right here. We've got some trimming to do, which I'm not doing it with those. I've got other scissors over here that I will do that with. So let's trim our corners just like we did before, just to reduce that bulk. You can trim all of that if you want. I don't find it necessary. Okay, so now I'll trim that off. And this zipper, I don't need that part. And we don't need this part either. Did I get all four corners? Nope, I missed one. Alrighty. So since this is the part that really matters, since we opened up our our zipper, now we can get in and get this pin out. I don't need it anymore. I should have pinned it the other direction. So I'm just going to reach in there, grab the end of it. There we go. Okay, now that's out. So now what we want to do, here's another little extra step that I was just thinking of that would be a good idea to do, is just pull this back and iron it down on both sides. We're going to eventually iron that, or we're eventually going to stitch that down. But this way it will at least be in the folded position. Okay, now we're going to go inside all the way down. You can open that zipper just a little bit more if you want to, but the zipper has to be open. If not, you're not pulling this inside out. Tell me how I know. Just gently, we're gently pulling on this because we've got some thickness going on. All right, we're getting there. We'll get our corner turner out in a minute. I like to see how much I can get. Let's pull out this. This is the lining. We're going to give it a good press so everything looks nice and fresh. Okay, let's open that all the way out. Go in that far corner. There we go. Hope I'm staying in your line of sight. When I get going, sometimes I forget. Okay, so we're going to get our point turner and we're just going to gently go in there and they'll be rounded. It's totally fine. Let's go in that other corner and in our lining corner. We want to pull that out as much as we can without poking a hole. Okay, so we need to stitch this down. I'm going to give it a press first. Bring our iron over. Iron that down. Then take it over the sewing machine, and I will probably just start at the end and go all the way. That way it doesn't look like I started here and started here or ended there. So I just want to make sure they all line up so I can catch both sides. So I will stick a pin in it. Alrighty, so I go from side to side, not just a little piece. I just think it looks a little more finished on the inside. All right, so you'll see I stitched from this side to this side. I want to make sure that I caught everything. If not, just go back down, stitch that again. Now we're ready to put the lining in our little bag. And then I'm going to try to pull up these corners the best I can. It's okay if there's a little indentation, that's just kind of normal. I'm going to give this a nice little press, make sure that our lining is in there really good. This is turning out so cute. I'm really excited. I kind of like the little V's. Some people don't. I don't have a problem with it. Alrighty, so let's just zip that up. And there we go. Just the right size to put a credit card in there. You can open this up just a little bit more and pull it out. But look at that. That's perfect. All right, here is everything we made from one fat quarter bundle. And I have some fabric left over. So we have a wallet and matching keychain, a quilted glasses pouch, a Grace pocket bookmark, and 3 corner bookmarks. And what I love most is how beautifully everything coordinated. That's the magic of using a fat quarter bundle. Everything just works together. And I can't wait to give these to my mom.